What's up, everybody? It's your boy AT2. We starting the show a little early. I'm using StreamYard. I know this is vertical, but I'm using StreamYard to go live. I'm gonna try to share a few things, few different videos. So that's why I wanted to still use StreamYard, even though I was going vertical. But let's play the intro. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the three dots right there. That's how you like the video, or you can double tap it. So let's get into it, y'all. What's up, everybody? It's your boy AT2 here, bringing you another episode of Talk the Real Deal with AT2. I wanted to kind of switch things up because I think in the times that we're in, it's a little bit more serious. So definitely, let's go ahead and have this conversation about what's going on in LA with the riots. Well, I don't want to say the riots, the raids. I'm sorry, with the raids. For those of you who don't know, I live in Northern California. So whatever is happening in LA, it doesn't affect me. It's funny because a lot of people reach out and they're like, AT2, what's going on? And it's all like, I really don't know. I'm not down there. I know as much as you because I have people down there, so I can ask them what's going on. But for me personally, I'm not affected by any of it because I don't live in LA. I live in Northern California. So, think of Bay Area, Sacramento, San Francisco, Hayward, Oakland, Berkeley. Like, that's more me. Anything that's happening down south, I don't know. Listen, I know as much as everybody else does from watching the news or contacting people. What's up, son? What's up, Shawnee? How y'all doing? Yeah, that's as much as I know. But thank you, everybody, checking on me. I appreciate that, definitely. And I want to say something too, because I know I say it doesn't affect me, but ICE is also up here too. They have been attacking restaurants, school graduations, like they're all over. It's not just in LA. Right now, it's bad because they're sending the National Guards and Marines down there. Well, Trump is. Let's be clear. Trump is sending them. And I want to let you guys know that what's going on down there is very serious. However, I also want to let you guys know, just know that all of this that Donald Trump is doing, it's a distraction to keep us from talking about the big, beautiful bill, the tariffs, and everything else that he has done. One thing I'll give Donald Trump credit for is that he knows how to cause a stir and how to cause commotion and distract people. Because don't forget, last Friday, we was just talking about him being on the Epstein files. And don't worry, we'll get to that. Don't worry. But again, we were talking about the big, beautiful bill, all those tax cuts that he want to give to the rich. We're not talking about the tariffs anymore. We're easily distracted with what's going on. So again, what he's trying to show is that, yeah, we're going to come into these sanctuary cities and take them over and deploy our military and use them against citizens, and not even just immigrant citizens. There's been a lot of videos that I've seen online where they said like they just been detaining people and they can be citizens or not citizens, but they're holding them for at least 24 hours either way. It's really sad. And I've been a proponent, like, I don't agree with people just being ripped from their homes or people being separated from their families. I don't agree with that. At the same token, I can also say, hey, if you are somebody who is committing crimes and et cetera, yeah, you do need to get up out of here. But with the mass deportation number, there's not enough criminals for how many people they want. That mass deportation, that includes everybody who does not have citizenship. Because even if you have temporary status, as you guys are learning, like the Cubans, the Venezuelans, the Haitians, the people who have temporary statuses, he took that shit all away. So everybody getting up out of here. It's not just certain people, it's everybody. So back to the raids, because I do want to say that with the protests, they have been majority peaceful. But just like anything in the media, they're going to show you only the negative. That's all they're going to show you. They're going to show you the cars being burned down and, chaos, because that conjures up ratings. Let's be honest about it. But there's the BET Awards was just yesterday. The BET Awards went on without a hitch. So that just tells you, like, people are still living their lives. And you got to remember, LA is huge. LA is huge. The whole county of Los Angeles is huge. So what they're talking about specifically is just downtown. Not all of LA is protested. What's sad is that, and we don't talk about this a lot because this happened with Black Lives Matter, you get a lot of these white kids that go, oh yeah, they're protesting. This gives us an opportunity to start tearing shit up. Now, I'm not going to say that the coloreds don't, I ain't going to say the coloreds don't be participating in the shit, but you have these white kids from the suburbs who will go to these protests, start tearing shit up because they don't live in the neighborhood, start tearing shit up, and then it caused all this chaos that goes on. And then this is when you see the police. This is when you see Trump calling the military and using it against their citizens to cause all this commotion. Because notice how when they did remember it was April 5th? Yes, also in New York. Thank you, Peaches. Remember April 5th when they did that protest for democracy? What was it? Rise of Democracy? I don't know what it was called, y'all. I just know that I didn't go to it. But whatever it was on April 5th, notice how it was majority white people and nothing happened. As soon as they know some colors is coming, they call in reinforcements. So it already puts it and it already puts tension that's already built onto the situation and just makes it worse. That's what it does. Let me read some of your comments. It's like it's too black area. The rest of the city is quiet as a mouse. Exactly, son. See, you get what I'm saying. Oh, and son, you're in LA too. Oh, I don't know if people knew that, but you're in Southern California. Let me just say that. They did the same in Portland too. It was the white kids tearing up stuff. Exactly. White Democrats. No, Achilles. This is where we disagree. No, it's white people, Democrat, Republican, leftist, and right leaning. They all racist as fuck. So yeah, it's white people. Let's be clear. Let's be clear about that. Y'all one and the same. We ain't separating y'all. What's up, Ronnie? How you doing? Anyway, you gotta let them know. No, it's all of y'all. It's not one of y'all. It's all of y'all. It ain't just one. It's all. It's sad out. Oh, what's up, Blessing? Yeah, you're in Southern California too. Now they're doing the same to Chicago. Drake, America. Okay, all right. Tear gas is bad in any situation. Yeah. And back to them tearing up shit, right? Because notice how there's some people who wear the mask, and the people who are wearing the mask, those are the ones trying to hide their face and no. Show your face. Show your face. And they're not having it for the tear gas. They're having it so that they can't get caught up in like, if you're protesting, you're protesting. But if you're trying to tear up shit, then yeah, that's why you're hiding. Because a protest is a protest. Let's be honest about that. You don't have to hide. That's your That's your right to protest. Now, I always go with this conversation when it comes to, oh, the black community is telling us that they don't care and they're not going to help us. It's not that we don't care, right? Because I have a heart, right? But this whole you wanted to protest after the election and you wanted to be reactive instead of proactive, I can't feel bad for you. And granted, somebody who doesn't have legal status here cannot vote, right? But if you didn't think about your abuela, your abuelo, your tia, your tio, you didn't think about your mama, your papa, mommy, papi. You didn't think about them to go vote to make sure they were good, they were okay, or even your spouse, your cousin, whatever. If you didn't check up, if you didn't think it was important for you to vote for your people and think about them, then what the fuck you want us to do? That's how I feel. And I know that's harsh to say, but if you didn't think about your people, what am I supposed to do? You know? Because is this the list right here? Hold on. Hold on, hold on. I think that's the wrong one. Oh, here we go. The Latino male vote. I just want to plug that there. I just want to put that there real quick. Because if the Latino males, if they didn't think about they abuela, they abuelo, they tia, they tio, they mommy, papi, if they didn't think about them, what you want me to do? And I know I'm being funny, but I'm serious. Like, if you didn't think about your family, what am I supposed to do? You didn't think it was important. And let me tell you, my videos that I've been posting, they were in response to somebody who was quote unquote calling out the black community and saying, yeah, we got to stick together, brown and black, we got to stick together, blah, 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 all that. Okay, yeah, I agree with that. But at the same token, those same people who were saying we need to stick together, they talked about how they didn't vote. They didn't think voting was important. They also talked about how, well, even though I didn't vote, I thought Trump would have been better than Kamala Harris. Or they said, I voted for Trump, but I didn't expect this. So if you didn't think it was important to vote, you didn't vote, or you voted for Trump, then you got what you wanted. You got what you wanted. Let me go ahead and change this to, I'm not going to switch it to members only. I meant subscribers only. You know, that's how I feel. If you didn't think about them, right? You didn't go like, dang, I need to think about my family and how it's going to affect them, because what they told us, right? They said, oh, we voted because of the economy. That's why. Well, it's some of your family that ain't gonna be here to enjoy that. Yeah, they ain't gonna be here to enjoy that economy. So what you talking about? You know, they're not going to be able to enjoy the economy because they're not going to be here. Then what? And again, this is directed to people who say, oh, I didn't care about voting. I voted for Trump. I thought Trump would be better, this and that. Okay, well, you got what you wanted. Didn't you? And you trying to put pressure on black people to be like, yeah, no, what you want us to do is sacrifice our bodies. That's what you're asking. You're asking us to sacrifice our bodies. Black people, put your lives on the line for us, because we know if we go, we're going to be the targets. We know that. So it's very selfish to ask us, put your bodies on the line, because that's essentially what you're asking. And no, we're not going to do that. We're not doing that. And you expect something from us, but you're not expecting it from. I haven't heard hardly any Latino, Hispanic influencers say anything. But yeah, you want to ask the black people. I've hardly heard anything from celebrities who have said anything. The Latino, Hispanic celebrities say anything. There is definitely a double standard when it comes to being a black content creator versus everybody else. Black content creators, we gotta be Martin Luther, Malcolm X, King, Sojourner, Harriet Tubman. We gotta be all the civil rights leaders when we're a black content creator. We just can't be a content creator. We gotta be a civil rights activist, a therapist. There's just a different standard for us. But if you're Latino, Asian, especially white, you can just be whoever you want to be. When you're a black content creator, you can't be that. So what I'm saying is that you have to put pressure on your own people. When the Latino community comes together and say, hey, we got a plan. When y'all get y'all stuff together, then I feel like, yeah, we can go there and back you up. Because I still see, there was even somebody in the chat, but I think they're gone now. But they said, oh, well, my family's legal, so I don't care. If they feel that way, I can't change their perspective. You got to talk to your people. And, a lot of people say black people aren't a monolith and stuff like that, right? And I totally agree. We all have our different perspectives, right? All the black people, shout out to all the black people in here. We all have our different perspectives, right? But in certain ways, when we see a threat to our livelihood, we come together. We come together. No matter what you want to say, there's division, of course, within the black community. We can't lie about that, right? But when it comes to certain things, we get it. And I've been hearing the threats of like, oh, well, you have to remember, if they come for us, they're going to come for you too. When did they ever stop coming for black people? Hello? Hello? Is this thing on? Can you guys hear me? Put a 1 in the chat if you hear me. But when did they ever stop coming for black people? Yeah, John Leguizamo. Yeah. Trust me, we get it. We understand it. We overstand it. We get it. The government's trying to control us and do all of this. And yeah, we know. Trust me. Oh, they're trying to experiment on us. Yeah, we know. Oh, they're trying to tell us what to do and what to say. Yeah, we know. They're trying to snatch us up from our yeah, we know. Everything that everybody has experienced, we have experienced. And I understand that it's more than just the Hispanic community being deported, right? I understand that because there's also Caribbeans, Africans, Asians, right? However, with that being said, listen, when I went in that voting booth, I voted the way I voted, right? I could have been selfish and been like, oh, well, I don't care about anybody. I wouldn't say that I would vote for Trump. No, I'm not going to go that far. But I could have easily said, I don't care about voting. It doesn't matter. Who cares? But no, when I went in that voting booth, I was all like, I'm voting more for just myself. I'm voting for the future of my family, my nieces and nephews. I'm thinking of my subscribers. I'm thinking about them. I'm thinking about the women. What's speaking of experimenting, that thing that going on Atlanta, you know, the woman who's brain dead, but she's pregnant, but they won't let her pass away. They got her hooked up to machines. Put a one in the chat. You know what I'm talking about, you guys. It's a woman in Atlanta. She's brain dead. They don't know if the baby will survive, but because she's pregnant and you can't terminate the pregnancy, they're keeping this woman alive. You can't tell me that they're not doing an experiment on that lady. They don't even know if the pregnancy is viable, but they're keeping that lady alive. That is crazy to me. And listen, I might not believe in abortion, but I believe in your right to have a choice. Because let me tell you, if I was a woman, I probably would have been on my 300th abortion by now. I'm just going to lie. When I was 22, slim and sexy, I was out there hoeing. So, all right, let me be serious for a minute. But, but even then, it's not about a woman being promiscuous or whatnot, right? It's about the woman's right to choose, because you got to think about this too. If a woman has to make a choice about whether it's her or the baby, now you're being told that you can't even make that choice. They're literally having women get sepsis. Is it sepsis? Am I saying it right? How do you say, you guys? Sepsis? Where like the infection of the blood before they even do anything. And women are dying from that. So everybody thinks just abortion is just, oh, the woman didn't want the baby, blah, blah, blah. It's more than that. Sepsis. Thank you. Thank you, Princess. So it's deeper. Yes, sepsis. It's deeper than what you guys think. What's up, Addicted? Thank you, Ronnie. Don't hate me on me because what I have, ask me and I will put you on too. Birth control excited AT2. Listen, it was just a little joke. Maybe it was a bad joke, but it was just a joke. I'm just kidding. But my whole point is, listen, no matter what the woman's reasoning for having to do what she has to do, that's on the woman. If you don't want one, don't have one. That's simple as that. But again, we just think that, oh, women don't want to have babies. They're just promiscuous. There could be a ton of different reasons why the woman can't have that baby. And whatever the reason is, that's between her and her doctor. That's what I believe. Another reason why I voted the way I voted was these damn tariffs. Tariffs is a tax on the consumer. You know when Trump had tweeted out and he said Walmart should what's up? Walmart what was he said? Walmart should pay for the tariffs or whatever. Yeah, they weren't going to pay for that shit. Why would the business? No. If anything, kind of technically the business takes on the tax, but then it's easily passed down to the consumer. And we're getting less ships in, less imports because, yeah, they're not just going to stock their shelves with anything. It's just all like, okay, we'll just take the necessities and that's it. Yeah, Project 2025. And like they said, oh, he's not gonna do Project 2025. What's going on right now is literally Project 2025. When they said they were going to roll back DEI, affirmative action, the Equal Employment Opportunity Act, that was all a part of Project 2025. He literally, and it's so funny because thank you, Princess. Agenda 47 literally was the same thing as Project 2025. It was just put nicely, but literally the mass deportation, taking funding away from schools that teach about race and all that, like all of that was in Agenda 47. All of that was in there. So back to my original point. My original point was if you didn't find it necessary to think about your family when all this stuff was going on and now you're thinking about them, that's on you, homie. It really is. Now, for the people who did not vote that way or did take it seriously, of course, I'm not talking to them. My heart goes out to them, right? But the people who literally said, like, oh, he's going to be great for the economy, he's going to get all these criminals, and didn't think he was coming for you. And we have to have a conversation later on because it's going to be too long. But a lot of people, and including Black people, but not so much of us because skin tone, we don't get that pass. But a lot of the other races, they have that close to proximity, that close to whiteness. They say Asians are the perfect minority. Like Latinos, Hispanics, they can come in many different shades. You can be a white Hispanic, a Black Hispanic, a indigenous Hispanic. So at the end of the day, you can assimilate easier, especially if you're on the lighter scale, or you're a European Hispanic, you can fit right on in, right? So forth and so forth. So what ends up happening is that, oh, they're not going to come for me because I've been assimilated into their culture. They're not coming for me. But no, you will be reminded every day that you are a colored. Just like when they say, or I hear people say like, oh, I've never experienced racism. Now, have I experienced somebody with a white hood on chasing me down the street? No, I have never experienced that before, right? Let's be clear. I've never experienced that. But have I experienced overt racism or microaggressions? Yes, of course. Or somebody didn't like me because I was black. Yes, I have. I wish I've never experienced anything, I wish, but yeah, listen, I would love to tell you that I've never experienced anything before, but that would be a lie. So let's go back to the raids. I didn't see the full thing of Karen Bass speaking, so we're going to go ahead and listen to probably not the whole thing. It's a 27
network. That is usually how we hear about a raid taking place. As far as we know, there might be one rally today, but we don't believe there's going to be a series of them, and we don't have a lot of information about that one rally. I do want to say that at 6 o'clock tonight, though, there will be an interfaith prayer vigil of which I will be honored to attend, and it will be at 6 o'clock, calling for peace, calling for unifying our community, calling for supporting immigrant Angelenos. So let me just say now, commenting about last night, the violence we saw last night, there is just no way to view it as unacceptable. So I do not believe that individuals that commit vandalism and violence in our city really are in support of immigrants. They have another agenda. If you support immigrants and the rights of immigrants to be in our city, you would not be tearing the city apart or vandalizing it. And I do want to say, especially for our national audiences, that those of us in Los Angeles understand that the unrest that has happened are a few blocks within the downtown area. It is not all of downtown, and it is not all of the city. Unfortunately, the visuals make it seem as though our entire city is in flames, and it is not the case.
Please hit that like button, you guys. Please hit the like button. Thank you.
At all, and I think it's important to say that. Now, having said that, though, the violence and the damage is unacceptable. It is not going to be tolerated, and individuals will be arrested and prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And no individual that is involved in vandalism should think because they went home that night that they're off scot-free, because investigations will take place, and I am assured by the police department that there will be follow-up and arrests. The extensive vandalism downtown, especially of the graffiti that is just blanketing a number of blocks, has been extensive. We are 1 year away from the World Cup. This is about beautifying our city and bringing our city together. And so I am.
Oh, so she worried about the World Cup, not the people and what they're protesting for. She worried about the World Cup. All right, we get you.
Calling on business leaders, community leaders, faith leaders to come together downtown in the next few days to talk about how we are going to clean up the city. Obviously, city workers are already out there removing the graffiti, but this is so extensive, it's going to take community-wide involvement. We had launched a program called Shine LA a couple of months ago in preparation for the World Cup, and now we are called on to direct that citywide. We need people from all over the city to come to downtown and to help with.
So you want the city to work for free, basically. That's what you're saying. And thank you, Shawnee. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, that's dope. Thank you so much. I really love having these real conversations with you guys. I appreciate it.
With this effort, the staff, the mayoral staff standing behind me, represent the best of our organizers and community liaisons, and they will be leading that effort. I do want to go back and say that, just go back in time a minute. On Thursday of last week, Los Angeles was peaceful. There was nothing going on here that warranted the federal intervention that took place the very next day. If we want to look at the cause of what is happening here, I take it back to raids that took place on Friday, and the uncertainty and the fear and the fact that families across the city are terrified that they don't know if they should go to work. They don't.
Now, I do like this answer better that she's giving right now. With them coming in there, yes, it does set the it did invoke the violence by them doing that. Because mind you, they were showing up at the jobs, the graduations. For those of you who don't know, I'm in Northern California, and in San Francisco, I believe it was yesterday or over the weekend, they arrested like 150 people. So yeah, not the thousands and millions that they talk about, but it was 150 that they did out here. But mind you, that didn't get pressed because there was nothing, there was no cars burning or no vandalism. So you really didn't hear anything about it. There was even a protest in San Francisco yesterday. It was at 6 p.m. I seen a flyer, like somebody that I know had reposted it. But you didn't hear about that. We've just been hearing about LA. So again, it's all over, you guys. But again, they want to sensationalize the vandalism, the riots, and so forth, so forth.
Don't know if they should go to school. We have people that were detained. We don't even know the exact numbers of the people that were detained. We have people that have not had contact with legal representation, nor have they even had contact with their families. And so there is an awful lot of concern.
Right.
When the administration started, they said that this was about crime. They were going to go after violent felons, drug dealers, and I don't know how that matches with the scenes that we saw of people in Home Depot running through the parking lot because they were afraid that they were going to get arrested. You are talking about people who are trying to survive day by day, which is what a day laborer is doing, and why they would be considered as part of a problem as opposed to contributing to our economy is very difficult for me to understand. We've also received reports of people who were here legally, who were showing up for their annual appointment at the immigration office and maybe even showing up with their family illegally and getting detained. This is just absolutely unnecessary. People have asked me, what are the Marines going to do when they get here? That's a good question. I have no idea. The National Guard that are here now have one assignment, and that is.
Did y'all see the picture of the Marine? Well, no, I think it was the National Guard. They were like sleeping on the ground, like literally how like. Come on now. And you're supposed, and the way it's supposed to work legally is that you're supposed to work with the local government to ask if they need the National Guard, if they need, backup. Trump just overstepped that and was all like, I'm doing what the fuck I want to do. And again, that's the other problem. It's all like the courts will say, oh no, Trump, don't do that. And, they'll slap his hand, but they're not doing anything. They're not like, motherfucker, you better not do that. Like who checks them? Nobody checks them. There is no checks and balances.
Is to protect one building, which is the federal building downtown. The second building, which is the federal building on Westwood Boulevard. And as far as I know, nothing has happened in Westwood at all. So this was not needed. The idea that the administration would usurp the authority of our state government, take it away from our governor, Gavin Newsom. The governor knows that if we put a request in for the National Guard and it went to him, he would comply. There was never an issue there because we were never thinking about calling upon the National Guard. So I do want you to know that the violence that has happened has required LAPD to ask for additional assistance, but not from the federal government. We are a county of 88 cities. There's a number of police departments in those cities, and we have the sheriff's department.
So, and thank you, Shani. I appreciate that. Wait until morale is down within the military. No bed, soldiers remember that stuff. Exactly. And Ronnie, you are right. They don't have a plan. They don't have anything in action. It's just kind of like wait and see. That's basically no. They write a strong letter. I think it was Hakeem Jeffries who said he wrote no. It was Chuck Schumer who definitely needs to go. We wrote a stern letter. A letter. What the? And that's my thing. Like, there's literally no checks and balances for Trump. You wrote a letter to him? But again, the Supreme Court said basically he can do what he wants to, right?
And so we have received assistance from the California Highway Patrol. I mentioned the sheriffs from Orange County, San Bernardino, Riverside, Santa Barbara, Ventura County, and a number of law enforcement departments around the county. So with them being fully deployed now, we're establishing a unified command under LAPD and Chief McDonnell, which will accelerate our ability to respond to hotspots when people splinter off and create pockets of trouble. So I do want to thank all the officers who've been working tirelessly and putting themselves at risk to keep our city safe. But the real solution of all of this is for the administration to stop the raids. We have heard that these raids might take place for the next 30 days. We don't know how many are going to take place in a given day. And you just think about.
Yeah, Pete Hegseth said it was going to last for at least a couple of months. I seen something where he said it was going to at least be another month or two. So yeah, they're not stopping. So basically they're going into high populated areas and being like, okay, we're going to go in there because we know we'll be able to snatch some people up. That's basically their goal. But again, the farmers are struggling because who's going to be there to, do all the farm work? And that just lets you know, since they can't find workers, that's also letting you know that, hey, they're paying them less money. Like, we know we can pay them cheaper and they'll do the work. Yeah, you could find people to do the work, but they're going to want a lot more money. I know I would. And again, most of us are black in here. You ain't going to see our black asses out. No, nah. Now, there are black farmers, but they're not going to be working for other people. But nah, we'll pass. Right. I was just saying that in the beginning. Zara, I was just saying that in the beginning. We're not talking about the terrorists. We're not talking about that big, beautiful bill. And mind you, don't forget this weekend is supposed to be that Trump parade for his birthday. Are y'all telling me that that's not the same as North Korea? Crazy, right? Crazy. But yeah, that's what I damn, I didn't even mean to spend 40 minutes on that. It's okay because the next part is going to be short, so it is what it is. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to give you guys my thoughts on everything going down there right now. But let's go ahead and move on to this right here because that's Elon with Ghislaine or Ghislaine. How do you say her? Ghislaine? That's Elon right there. You know, he had put out that tweet saying the big bombshell was that Trump is on the Epstein files. Oh no, that's that other one. That's the election one. No, it's not. Damn, did I delete it, y'all? Yeah, I must have deleted it. My bad. Did I delete the Epstein file one? Oh man, how I delete the Epstein? I'm all close in the computer. I'm all like, damn, where did I put it, y'all? Okay, anyway, y'all seen the damn tweet. Y'all know what it's about already. So I've always asked, yeah, and he deleted it too. I got it somewhere on my phone. Yeah, Ghislaine, or however you say her name. But yeah, so he has met Epstein before too, right? So that's the funny part. Elon, are you on the list? But you know, after he put out that tweet, basically saying that not she, Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. First of all, it's not really a bombshell. We kind of knew this, right? We knew this. There's plenty of pictures. Remember, about 7 months ago, I had played you guys an audio of Michael Wolff. He was the journalist that wrote that book when he was in the White House, and then he wrote another book about Epstein and his connection to Trump. And there was an audio where Epstein was like telling you about this was in 2017, like before everything went down, where he was like telling you about what was going on in the White House and Trump's relationship with different people. Like he was still speaking to Trump. Like he did mention that they had some kind of falling out that happened years ago, but it was something about like business or some shit like that. But anyway, we all know there has been accusations that Trump was on the island. He had messed around with the girls, the underage girls. We already knew about this, right? Don't forget. Remember a few months ago, Pam Bondi said she released the list, or not released the list, but released the Epstein files. The files that were released was actually like a Gawker report that was like 10 years before the Epstein thing happened. Because remember, I believe it was 2013. Epstein was charged in Miami, not Miami, in Florida. Epstein was already charged in 2013 in Florida, you guys. But they let him do like some kind of work program to where he got off. But he still wanted to be a nasty bastard. And then that's when they arrested him again. And then, you know, his demise. I can't say what he did or they'll flag my video, but you know, he deleted himself, unalived himself, as they like to say, unalive. I really hate saying unalive. It just sounds so stupid. You should be able to say what it is. But anyway, so Pam Bondi, the AG, had released the Epstein file. But mind you, it was the same thing, but further redacted. But why have they not released the Epstein files? Remember, they talked about, oh, Diddy was in the Epstein files, Beyonce and Jay-Z, Bill Clinton, and all these different other people. But when you hear from the right wingers, they never talk about Trump. They never say, well, Trump also was friends with, like, they never draw that conclusion with Trump. Because mind you, when did Epstein unalive himself? Ding, 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 what I thought. Because remember, there was conspiracy over all, how he passed away and whatnot, right? And I'm not trying to deter you guys, but what's interesting was that he died in 2019. I'm going to give y'all 30 seconds. Who was president in 2019, you guys? 30 seconds. Y'all, Trump was president in 2019. What the? God, I gotta teach y'all history, damn it. I'm all like, why y'all putting so many damn answers in here? Oh, maybe y'all didn't hear what I said. Who was president in 2019? I was all like, Obama. Like, come on, I would have let y'all slide with Joe Biden. Like, oh, okay, maybe y'all were confused. COVID happened. Maybe y'all was confused. But no, Trump, y'all. That's who was in office in 2019. So it's funny how nobody draws that comparison. Like, yeah, that's who was president during that time. Because y'all heard. I don't know if y'all heard, but I always heard, oh, it was the Clintons who did it because they were trying to hide. Well, Bill Clinton had already said like they were doing work in Africa, like charity work in Africa. That's when he was on the plane or whatever. And basically they want to draw anybody who had a connection to Jeffrey, just like they did with Diddy. Anybody who was pictured, notice the correlation, y'all. Notice the correlation. Anybody pictured with Diddy, they said was at the freak-offs. Remember? Just like anybody who was on Jeffrey Epstein plane went to the island. But that's not true. But who was friends with this man? Donald Trump. And it's so crazy because even with the Diddy stuff, like him and Donald Trump were like cool at one point. And Diddy had a residence at the Trump Tower. And where did these freak-offs happen? At the Trump Tower. But somehow we'll draw a correlation to everybody else, but we won't draw a correlation to Trump. Why do they do that? Melania looked young in those pictures. They got hella pictures together. That's how long they've been knowing each other. Melania had her original face up in that motherfucker. That's how you know. She had her original face. That's how old them pictures were. But again, what's very interesting is that there is never no correlation to Trump. So I want to go ahead and play you guys this clip real quick where and it's from a YouTube short because Fox removed the interview. Let me go ahead and play it here.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah. I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know.
Oh, yeah, Prince
you don't want to
Andrew.
affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would, or at least
Do you think that would restore trust? Help restore trust?
Yeah, I don't know about Epstein so much as I do the others.
9/11, yeah. JFK, I'm with you. Jeffrey Epstein, yeah. Well, why would Donald Trump be so circumspect about exposing the secrets of Jeffrey Epstein, a billionaire child sex trafficker who died in prison, without revealing which of his well-connected elite friends knew about and possibly even participated in his revolting and illegal activities?
If you were president, would you declassify, you can answer yes or no to these, Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you,
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world.
But what would be the phony stuff? That's what I don't understand. These would be classified files. So are you saying that the feds would make up and put fake stuff in there? What fake stuff is he talking about? They wouldn't put no internet conspiracy theories in the files. Like it would just be what it was. Whatever the indictment was, that's what it would be. What would you be worried about? I just got questions. What is he worried about? And the fact that they released something that was 10 years before the Jeffrey Epstein situation even happened and not release the actual files and try to play in y'all face. Amazing. Amazing. And you'll hear a lot of them say, "Oh, we don't really care about, like, what does it matter? It's so old. It's such a long time ago. We don't care." Listen, if it was Barack Obama, the motherfuckers would care. Let me ask y'all real quick. Put a 1 in the chat if this would be headline news every day if Barack Obama was on these files. Put a 2, you think nobody would care. Put a 1, it would be on headlines every day. Put a 2, they wouldn't care. And we know her ass wasn't in talking about she freed the people. Get your ass up out of here, Jaguar. Talking about you freed the girls from Epstein Island. Right. I'm gonna play you guys a short from PBD, the Patrick Bet David show, and this even further proves my point right here.
If you're saying that Trump is on Epstein's list, you're basically indirectly saying that Donald Trump is a pedophile. If that's true in your mind, and he's on that list and that's the only reason, then you knowingly, Elon, are hanging out with a pedophile. You got this pedophile basically in as president. You put $250 million in, so you backed him. You let your child ex hang out with him alone. I remember when they were walking on the lawn to go to Marine One. So if that's the case, you're a complete hypocrite. But at the end of the day, what does Elon know about the list? Who's seen that list? And again, I'm over that list because whoever's been looked at it, changed it, FBI, old FBI, new FBI, I don't give a damn about it. But I think this is extremely ugly and it's not going to stop. If you're saying that Trump is on Epstein's list, you're basically indirectly saying that Donald Trump is a pedophile. If that's true in your mind and he's on that list and that's the only reason, then you knowingly, Elon, are hanging out with a pedophile. You got this pedophile basically in as president. You put 20.
So notice how the angst gets put on Elon Musk. And mind you, Elon Musk ain't shit to me, right? He ain't shit to me. However, now you don't care. But I thought it was about save the children. We love the children. The Democrats are all perverts. I thought it was all that. Now all of a sudden you don't care and it's put on Elon like, oh, why would you try to get this man? We know Elon don't give a damn. He care about his own pockets. All that government welfare that he gets. That's what Elon likes. We know he don't give a damn. But notice how they be all like, oh, well, we don't really know. But why is he talking about this now? So I have to play this through Kyle Kalinske. Shout out to him. He's somebody in the political sphere. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him or not, but I want to go ahead and play this for you guys real quick. Let me go.
Ketamine hole he's in. Had Lex Friedman's goofy ass go on Twitter and say, I think it's time for an emergency podcast between Trump and Elon. Trying to act like, bro, just talk it out, bro. Just talk it out, bro. It'll work. It'll work out. Oh, do it on my platform so I can get 58 million people to watch this video, right? And Rogan, it turns out, this is glorious. He learned in real time what was happening and what Elon was saying about Trump while he was doing a podcast with Kash Patel, the head of the FBI. Pay attention to just how uncomfortable. You can literally see it in this frame right here. Look at Rogan's face. How uncomfortable he is with all this. How he's squirming over having to reckon with the guy he looks up to the most, Elon Musk, going after the president that he supports and went to his inauguration, Donald Trump. He doesn't know. Mommy and daddy are getting a divorce, and he doesn't know which parent he should go with. That's what's happening right here. All right, let's watch.
This is going to come up because it's been going on since we've been recording here. Elon and Trump seem to be in a bit of a spat, Joe. You want to check the tweet that Elon just put out a little bit ago?
Time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day. Jesus Christ.
I'm not participating in any of that conversation.
What?
Oh, Mr. We're truth tellers over here, bro. That's what we do. Free speech, bro.
Mind you, this is when the news first broke. Also, JD Vance was on a podcast when the news broke about Trump and Elon breaking up and all that shit. But they all played it off like, oh, well, you know, they're just having a spat. We don't really know, blah, blah, blah. This is the FBI director that he's talking to, Kash Patel. And he's all like, oh, I'm not getting in that. Why don't you want to get in? Like, why don't you want to get in it? You ain't got nothing to say. He does actually speak on it, you guys. And I have to play it through Kyle Kalinske because Joe Rogan will strike your video. So I got to play it. So that's why we played it through a third party, you guys, by the way.
Fuck your feelings, bro. Oh, are mommy and daddy fighting? I'm not getting involved. I'm going to go hide in the corner. Oh, my God. Rogan is so uncomfortable.
Public. Have a nice day. Jesus Christ.
I'm not participating in any of that conversation
What
between
is he?
Elon and
Have a
Trump.
nice day, DJT. Someone should take his phone away.
They're going back and
Oh, siding more with Trump?
forth about different things. And
Yeah. Listen,
Well, he said he was disappointed in Elon.
yeah,
Yeah.
they told him to leave.
Jesus Christ, that's a crazy thing to say. How does he know?
Oh, my God. Oh, my sweet, sweet summer child. How fucking naive is Joe Rogan? You don't know this? You don't know this? You've done 78 podcasts where you shit on the corruption of Nancy Pelosi and Hunter Biden and Joe Biden, bro, and Bill Clinton's all over the Epstein files, bro. And it's like, by the way, Trump's in there too. What?
Right. He's right about that. Notice how they play dumb. And thank you, son, for that. Thank you. Notice how they play dumb whenever, like, oh, wait, Trump? No. What? Huh? How do we believe it? All of a sudden it goes to, oh, well, we can't just believe everything we read on the internet. But of course, this goes with the narrative. And listen, let me tell you guys this. If it's found out that Bill Clinton is a nasty motherfucker, I don't mind throwing him under the bus too. That's how I feel. Okay, you tell me that somebody did X, Y, and Z. I don't give a damn who they are. They all need to go to jail. That's how I feel. I'm never one of those people like, oh, well, it depends on what side it is we need to think about. No. If the person is doing something like that, messing with minors, yeah, they need to go. So I'm completely fine with Bill Clinton getting yeah, okay. I'm never one of those people like, oh, well, you know, Bill Clinton. Okay. I told you, he said he just went to Africa with Epstein. That's what I told you. That's it. But, you know, I only seen Bill with one picture. I ain't seen Bill in hella pictures with Epstein like I seen Trump. But that's my thing, though. I'm fine with saying, yeah, Bill Clinton, yeah, that's something shady. Definitely based on Bill Clinton's past. Yeah, that's very shady. Something is weird about that. But you can see that in Bill Clinton, but you can't see that for Trump. You can't see something is wrong with this. This was like his best friend. They was cool. They was homies. All right.
What? Is there gambling in this establishment, bro? What do you... That really? Oh, my God.
Hit the thumbs up, you guys.
Oh, my God. What a child.
Told him to leave.
Jesus Christ, that's a crazy thing to say. How does he know?
How does he know, bro? How does he know? Is it because Trump was on the Epstein flight log 7 times? Is that how he knows? Is it because we have Jeffrey Epstein himself telling a reporter on literal audio tape that he was Trump's best friend for a decade? How does he know, bro? How does he even know? Is it the evidence that's piled as high as Mount Everest? Is that how he knows, bro? Oh my God. The motivated reasoning and confirmation bias of somebody like Joe Rogan is
Addicted. What's the DD? What's the DD?
Astonishing, right? He got this idea in his head that Trump is good, and it's always working backwards from that. And so now he's like shocked. You're telling me that the billionaire New York real estate developer, celebrity reality star who was friends with Jeffrey Epstein was actually in the Epstein files, bro? What are you talking about?
How does he know?
Got you.
Does he know that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files? Or does he have access to the Epstein files?
I don't know how he would, but I'm just...
By the way, let's remember what happened with the Epstein files recently. The Trump regime made this big show. Bro, we're going to release the Epstein files. Watch this. We're going to blow everybody's socks off, man. This is going to be incredible. We're all about transparency in this administration, dog. What did they do? They called their little sycophantic hack bitches, their partisan hack MAGA influencers. They called them into the White House. They gave them a binder that said Epstein files on it. Then, when everybody went through it, what they found out is, this isn't the Epstein files. This was literally reporting from a decade prior. Gawker released Epstein's black book. And so what the Trump regime did is they took the Gawker reporting, then further redacted names in it, and then released it. Literally trying to hoodwink everybody in the country. Oh, maximum transparency. Look, here are the Epstein files. That's not the Epstein files. We already had access to all that information, and the access we had was more than what you were given because you further redacted it. And here's Joe. Oh, bro, how would he know, bro? How would he know Trump's in the Epstein file? What do you mean? If it was a
Wait, Addicted, how come you want me to make it private? Do you think it's too controversial? Is that why?
Democratic president who did that whole song and dance, I'm going to release the Epstein files, and then they did the exact same stunt that the Trump regime did, a fake release of the Epstein files with decade-old information with it further redacted, he would be on that shit like white on rice. But since it's a Republican, and Joe's a diehard Republican now, look at how fucking stupid he plays.
Staying out of the Trump Elon thing, that's way outside.
The truth tellers all of a sudden are like, bro, give my opinion on the most important thing that's happening today. Bro, what? What are you talking about?
What are they doing?
I know my lane, and that ain't it.
I just don't. I mean, I understand he owns Twitter. I think it's bad for your mental health.
You know what else is bad for his mental health, Joe? The 20-drug cocktail he takes on a daily basis. The K-hole, ketamine hole he's in all the time, 24/7.
They say he a powderhead. But notice how a lot of their attention is on Elon. Even when we listen to Patrick Bet-David podcast, they were talking about, oh, well, Elon, so you basically got a pedophile elected into president. You gave him $250 million. Everything was on Elon, but not addressing the actual issue. Notice that.
7, the Adderall he takes, the ecstasy he takes, the magic mushrooms that he takes, the speedballs he's on every single day. You know what else is not good for his mental health? Being the world's richest robber baron and
You're right,
using that wealth for horrible ends, being a scam artist and a fraudster and lying about businesses, over-promising and under-delivering, shaking people down. All those things are bad for your mental health. All those things are bad.
Posting things public all day and arguing with people all day is bad for you.
It's so funny because this, remember, Rogan looks up to Elon and thinks like he's this mega genius who nobody can touch and nobody can doubt his brilliance. And now here he...
Right. I was going to say, mind you, the same people who are now speaking out against Elon when he was giving them money, with their campaigns and stuff like that. Also, they said that he was the one, and him and another guy, I think Peter Thiel, were pushing Trump to pick J.D. Vance. Mind you, J.D. Vance has only been in the government. Well, he was only a senator for a few years. He hadn't been like a senator for hella long. He was a senator for a few years, and that's it. I'm not sure what he did before if he was a politician, but again, J.D. Vance isn't qualified either.
He is like, well, apparently your mega genius is such a fucking child. He struggles with impulse control, and he can't help but go into a K-hole and basically tweet through the end of his life, right? All his fucking companies imploding, his relationship with Trump fraying, and he's like, what if I just blow everything up? Is that your fucking genius? That's your boy right there, bro? Come get your boy.
Well, you raise a great point. Sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
half of what we have to respond to is the click army on social media.
Oh, yeah. That's the problem. The problem are all the people accurately calling you out. It's not that you guys are fucking con men and frauds. That's not it. I know. So super uncomfortable they were, but I'm not done yet. So they went on to talk about Epstein, and Kash Patel humiliated himself. Watch this. Here we go.
The narrative.
Please like the video, double tap on the screen, or hit the 3 dots on top, and then like it that way.
Has always been that there's video. Mm-hmm. But what about the video from the island?
Again, we're going to give you everything we can, and people have to remember, we're not going to re-victimize women. We're not going to put that shit back out there.
What? Bro, I would give you all the Epstein files and the information and stuff, but I don't want to hurt the victims, bro. I don't want to, like, drag their name through the mud, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, so they care about the victims. So this is the new excuse. They care about the victims. We don't want to re-victimize them. You know, I know there was one girl who passed away recently from she unalived herself, but I wonder have the victims ever said, "Oh, please don't release the files because I don't want to be like." Have the victims themselves actually said that?
And so we got to be careful about that.
Not happening, because then he wins. Not doing it.
Jeffrey Epstein is dead. There is no scenario where he wins, okay? What are we talking about? Jesus Christ. Look at these flimsy-ass excuses.
You want to hate me for it? Fine. Again, logical play out. If there was a video of some guy or gal committing felonies on an island, and I'm in charge, don't you think you'd see it?
You just told us that you wouldn't release it because you don't want to re-victimize the women. Bro, I wouldn't release that. That goes too far. But hey, if I had it, don't you think I'd release it, bro? You just told us you wouldn't. Oh, my God.
Right. If you have it.
Right.
But you can't say that you have it.
No, we're giving you everything we have.
And is
that why you did that stunt? Is that why the Trump regime did that stunt where they pretended like they were releasing the Epstein files, but they fucking...
Real quick, Addicted. If you have because I have the premium or whatever, we get paid off of that too.
Weren't?
Video from the island?
Not of what you want.
Oh! It has been widely reported that when all of the stuff was seized, there were countless videotapes. He had blackmail on everybody. This guy was the CEO of Elite Sex Crimes Incorporated. He had ties to Mossad, Israeli intelligence. By the way, if you wonder why now he's hiding the truth, it's because he knows, oh my God, this is Mossad. Oh my God.
And
we're fucking with some players here who have dirt on absolutely everybody. We can't out them because then we get brought down. That's what's actually going on here, y'all.
Not of what you want.
So this narrative might not be accurate, that there's video of these guys doing this.
Exactly.
Have you guys reviewed everything that you have?
Almost. Yes, we have, and now we're figuring out how to put it out.
But is there footage?
If there was
awkward ass pause.
What it sounds like to me is that they're worried about who will be on the videos or who's in the report. Like they're worried about, to me, the whole we're worried about the victims, that's a cover-up. They're really worried about who were these nasty perverts on that island. And like I said, no matter Democrat or Republican, release it all. Release it all. Why are we holding back? Release it.
If there was footage of anyone doing anything else, we would have opened a case.
There are tens of thousands of videos. Yeah, and it's all with little kids.
Okay, that's Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, at a private dinner saying there's tens of thousands of videos and it's all with little kids.
If there was a video of some guy
Hold on, let me rewind that back.
Private dinner saying there's tens of thousands of videos and it's all with little kids.
If there was a video, if there was footage of anyone doing anything else, we would have opened a case.
There are tens of thousands of videos. Yeah, and it's all with little kids.
Okay, that's...
Wow, she said there's tens and thousands of videos and it's all little kids. Now, I will say this, that does, because they're minors, yeah, that does make a difference, right? However, there is actual reporting that you guys can release. We don't need to see the video. Just release the reports.
Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, at a private dinner saying there's tens of thousands of videos and it's all with little kids.
If there was a video of some guy or gal committing felonies on an island, and I'm in charge. Don't you think you'd see it?
Again, you told us you wouldn't release it because you want to re-victimize the women, and now you're like, obviously I'd release it if I had it. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. All right. Here, we got one more for you. This is what Cash said on Joe Rogan next to what Pam Bondi said in a press conference. Here we go.
Again, logical play out. If there was a video of some guy or gal committing felonies on an island and I'm in charge, don't you think you'd see it?
Tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn. And there are hundreds of victims. And no one victim will ever get released. It's just the volume, and that's what they're going through right now. The FBI is diligently...
They think you're stupid. Here you have the CEO of Elite Sex Crimes Incorporated who had blackmailed dirt on like every powerful business person and politician in the country, former presidents. So much dirt. So much dirt. It's like, bro, there actually aren't even any videos, bro. Oh, I'm sure. Just like Diddy didn't have videos of his freak-offs. All this stuff is fucking widely known. The reason they're doing it, they're trying to cover Trump's ass. Cover Trump's ass and protect Israeli intelligence. That's what's going on. So Mr., I'm an edgy outsider podcast guy, fake independent media king, new corporate media king, Joe Rogan, now all of a sudden, he's a pathetic little state propagandist. Who is buying this? Nobody's buying this. Wow, how sad. What a sad, sad state of affairs. Imagine bringing on the head of the FBI, watching him lie to your face, and playing fucking patty cakes with him the entire time.
And listen, I know a lot of people that used to watch the Joe Rogan podcast or whatever. I was never that impressed with the Joe Rogan podcast. I think maybe that's in a way of like you Caucasian, you might be interested in Joe. I never, no. What I remember about Joe Rogan was Fear Factor. And then, of course, UFC. But his podcast, no, I don't really care. I don't really get into aliens and conspiracy theorists. That's not my thing, no. But again, people actually look to people like Joe Rogan as news. This is why, like the right-wingers and shit like that, they're dangerous because people do look at it as news. Joe Rogan doesn't have to be factual when he talks. He can literally say, oh, well, they're trying to put possum poison in the water. And it literally, we know that's not true, right? But he could say that, and all the millions of people that listen to him, watch him, they'll believe it, and they'll start passing that along, and then it'll go in a whole telephone game, and then, yeah. But it doesn't have to be factual. Whatever he says, people believe it. And thank you, Shawnee. You said, are people really catching up to what the plan was? People who are aware saw this for years. Exactly. Oh, you just found them this year. Okay. Mayo Media, yes. Yes, and thank you for the support as well. Just like Trump lies and those maggots eat it up and run with it. Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to be factual. You can just say whatever and people will believe it. That's the sad reality that we live in. I want to believe that people... I think what the problem is on the internet, you can literally find something that will fit your narrative. It doesn't have to be true, right? But you can find something that fits your narrative. No matter what, you can always find something that will fit your narrative. It does not have to be true. Just like the one, they're putting have y'all heard this before? Put a 1 if you heard this. They're putting chemicals in the water to make people gay, and like the frogs were turning gay or something like that because they were putting chemicals in the water or something. Have y'all heard that? Put a 1 if y'all heard that. I was like, what the hell? And so there's just things that you hear, and literally you can find anything, and then people will use that as like, yes, this is true. I always knew it. I always knew it was true. I told you. Yeah, the Alex Jones and all of that, right? Yes, and the transgender mice. Exactly. Remember that was the thing, the transgender mice. They literally will find things to fit their narratives of what they want to believe. The gay frogs, the transgender mice. They don't have to be factual. They can just literally say that and people go like, you know what? I knew the mice were gay. You know, I knew they were transgender. Like, what? That's not going to put food on my table. I'm not, even if they were turning the mice transgender, like, I don't care, whatever, right? I don't give a damn. Like, I'm worried about things that affect me in real. I'm not worried about no trans mice right now. I'm not worried about that. Or the gay frogs. I'm not worried about that either. Happy Pride, by the way. I'm not worried about none of that. That doesn't concern me at this moment. But yeah, these culture wars and stuff like that people put out there, it's only gonna get worse. I don't see it getting better, y'all. I don't. Anyway, you guys, I didn't mean to keep y'all that long. You know, I usually only do an hour show, but we went an hour and 16 minutes, so you know it was a good show if I went over an hour. I want to say thank you guys so much for being here, supporting me. Thank you to everybody. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Also, shout out to Shawnee. Thank you. Shawnee was blessing me tonight. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all, but it's time to go. We out. Deuces, everybody. Here we go.